96.5 The Cave, Lenawee County Sports. Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. This is Inside the Cave on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com. Sports talk radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports, interview area coaches and players, and get you ready to start your day.
Good morning.
Now grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass, because it's time to go inside the cave.
And welcome inside the cave here on a Wednesday morning. John Roberts with you, along with Ian Wendt. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning, John.
Ian is off-site today, so it's me flying solo here in the studio, but he is certainly along for the ride.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy one, John. I mean, we have sports upon sports upon sports to talk about today. I got very, very opinionated thoughts on Michigan, on the Lions. Do they tank, or what do they try to do? We got our top 16. We got MSU football playing some sort of game, I guess, against Penn State, and we're going to look at basketball. I mean, all sorts of stuff today. It should be a great show.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should. So we're going to get going right away here with...
Now for an Inside the Cave sports update.
And Matthew Stafford did not suffer any broken ribs in last week's loss to the Green Bay Packers, but the Detroit Lions quarterback still could miss Sunday's game against the Tennessee Titans. ESPN reported Tuesday that Stafford suffered a rib cartilage injury when he was hit hard and twisted awkwardly on a 6-yard scramble in Sunday's fourth quarter. Interim Lions coach Darrell Bevell said Monday that Stafford will be reevaluated at the end of the week to determine his playing status. According to ESPN, the Lions are not overly optimistic that Stafford will be playing Sunday. Closer to home than maybe the Lions for all of us, the Michigan High School Athletic Association Executive Council, scheduled to meet on Wednesday, has decided to postpone that meet reportedly to Thursday. So maybe some developments, and we'll keep our eye on that story as it moves along. Two of the best players in Detroit Lions history will help the team find its next head coach and general manager. Chris Spielman, who made 4 Pro Bowls in 8 seasons with the Lions, has left his broadcast position with Fox to become special assistant to Lions president Rod Wood and chairman Sheila Ford Hamp. Spielman will sit in on all interviews in the Lions' ongoing search for a new head coach and general manager, and will circle back and spend time with the 3 internal candidates the team interviewed last week. While Spielman will have a permanent role in the organization, the Lions also established a 3-member advisory group to help vet candidates and weigh in on what criteria should be used to pick the next coach and GM. Hall of Fame running back Barry Sanders, Fritz Pollard Alliance Executive Director Rod Graves, and former Michigan State Athletic Director Mark Hollis. Michigan's football game at Iowa on Saturday has been canceled. A source with direct knowledge of the situation told the USA Today Sports Network just before U of M announced the news last night. The Wolverines will finish 2-4 in the regular season. According to a Michigan news release, the Wolverines were expected to be without more than 50 athletes against the Hawkeyes because of lingering effects from the COVID-19 outbreak within the program. It's the 3rd straight game Michigan has canceled because of a COVID-19 outbreak that began to spread after the Wolverines lost to Penn State on November 28. U of M is the first program in the Big Ten this season to miss 3 consecutive games because of an outbreak. Last Wednesday, Athletic Director Ward Manuel said the OSU game was canceled because of an upward trend in positive COVID-19 tests that continued to go up even over the weekend. Michigan State football will be missing one cornerback for sure Saturday. Another is possibly done for his career. Coach Mel Tucker confirmed Tuesday sophomore cornerback Chris Jackson is no longer with the program, and he said he planned to talk later that afternoon to Shakur Brown to see if the junior who entered his name for the 2021 NFL Draft on Monday would be playing Saturday when the Spartans travel to Maryland to wrap up the Maryland to wrap up the regular season at 7:30 on Big Ten Network. Jackson started the first two games, then missed the Iowa and Indiana games due to injury. He returned in a reserve role against Northwestern and Ohio State, but was not in uniform again for Saturday's loss at Penn State. Brown is tied for the national lead with 5 interceptions and has 25 tackles and 4 pass breakups while starting all 7 games this fall. He began the season as the nickelback but returned to cornerback when Jackson got hurt. And that's the update, Ian.
All right, a lot of stuff there that, relates into sort of what we're going to talk about throughout the show. So we're going to, of course, expand on the news about the Lions with Sanders and Spielman. We might want to get some listener feedback on that one. 265-4000, the number 2 call. And, of course, the Michigan stuff, Michigan State things as well coming up later on in the show. But I think the news, the big thing to start with is the Lions. I'm seeing a lot of positive media, a lot of positive feedback about the Spielman situation in Detroit, bringing him on as sort of an advisory role. Did you say he left his role at Fox?
He did. Yeah, he is. Yeah, so this is permanent. At first, some people thought it might be, just for the rest of this season, but he actually came out on his Twitter feed yesterday and thanked everybody at Fox for, I think he's been there 9 years now as a commentator. Thanked them for his time there and experience and, working with great people. And so this is what he's doing next.
I mean, doesn't that kind of beg the question of, you think he wants to be GM?
Well, I know his name was mentioned by, a few people at least as someone who has a football background, has stayed current in the game as a broadcaster. And, we've seen some other people leave television. Of course, we had the Matt Millen experience here for many years with the Lions, which did not work out. But more recently, John Lynch, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer defensive back, he left the broadcast booth and has been very successful as the GM of the San Francisco 49ers. Mike Mayock, who was on the NFL Network, is now the GM of the Raiders. And, certainly I think both people that are fans of the NFL would say those franchises are doing okay or better than okay. I mean, the 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're doing okay.
Yeah, so we'd take
John
that.
Gruden going from coach to the press box back to coach.
Right.
We've seen that too. And, we watch a lot of Lions, unfortunately, but we have to for the show.
Right.
But, John, when you listen to Spielman do a Lions game, he's obviously got that passion. Being that's his hometown team or that's his team, but he seems to just really want them to do well, and it kind of sounds biased. Maybe if you're the other team watching, or just from a casual listener or viewer standpoint.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds like a guy that cares.
Well, yeah, I mean, he obviously played 8 years here and cares about the city and cares about the franchise and, was obviously a successful player for the Lions back then. And, I think it comes through sometimes when he's doing games, but I think that's only natural. I mean, you listen to all those former players, and I know it grates some people that, they seem like homers for their former team, and they probably, I would guess most of them, try really hard not to sound like that, to be professional. And, every once in a while that passion for your old team is going to, it's hard to bury those feelings that you have.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree. And this hiring, I think we just got a tweet in that
Yep.
I think a lot of people locally love the hire.
Well,
In whatever capacity Spielman's in.
sure. Well, I
Whatever it
think,
ends up being.
everybody remembers him as a player. He was very intense, very driven to be successful. And I think everybody is hopeful that will carry over into the front office.
Yep, and obviously that's the intent here. Maybe the name that maybe brought up more questions than answers, as we like to say, is the Barry Sanders involvement in all this.
Well,
right? I mean, they left on not the best of terms, and every time Barry comes back, it's like he and your ex at the mall. And it's like, oh, we had this great relationship, and it didn't end the best, but
Right.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe this is an attempt to help that relationship going forward. But I think the average fan is going to say, oh, wow, Barry Sanders is involved in this. They're serious about getting, someone who is going to understand where the Lions have been and where we want them to go. And, so I don't think it hurts. And obviously he has some knowledge of the game of football and how it operates at the professional level. So I don't dislike it. I like the Spielman hiring more because I think it's going to be more direct and more permanent on the organization.
Yeah, I think you're right there in saying that, John. I mean, big news out of Detroit. I think overall it's a good move for the Fords to say, we need someone that's got experience, that's going to be professional about this, that knows a lot about the game. And obviously there was a relationship there with Spielman. And, best of luck to him. I don't know if he ends up being the GM candidate. I can't see him, recommending himself.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Advisory committee. What's that?
That would be tough.
Yeah, that'd be a hard sell, selling yourself.
But
Sheila, thanks for putting me on this board.
now give me the job.
Yeah, I'd be really good at running this.
Well, and I think what he'll do is he'll get a good feel as someone who's going to be permanent with the organization. He'll get a good feel of who he's going to be working with and what their strong points are and maybe, where they need to work at to be even better. We all have those in life. And you mentioned the tweet that we got on our Twitter feed. Our listener says that Chris Spielman is the best hire the Lions have had in years. So we hope that's correct. I don't disagree with it for sure, but
right? Could you argue that?
No, I mean, they haven't done real well on the coaching or GM fronts lately. We talk often about Jim Caldwell, and he's probably the best coach we've had in a long, long time, and that went as far as it could in a lot of people's opinion and wasn't going any farther in terms of success. So, hopefully we can find someone who's as good as Jim Caldwell and hopefully a little bit better and get us into the playoffs on a regular basis, maybe win the division every now and then. And
no, come on.
Who knows? Maybe even play in a Super Bowl one day.
Wow, that's crazy talk, John. That's
I know.
Wild stuff. I think the big overarching theme, and this is putting it in very simplistic terms, is the Lions hired a football guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the Fords, who have been proven to not be football people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Rod Wood, the president, who's not necessarily a football guy.
Right.
When they name Spielman something official, I'll be interested to see how high up the ladder he is.
Yeah, because right now he's just kind of an assistant to the president, and I think he's the guy they're going to go talk to when they have football questions. Not so much maybe dollars and cents and personnel in the front office decisions, but he's going to be, I think he'll maybe he'll certainly be involved in the hiring of the GM and coach, because he's going to be the guy that tests their football acumen, and their knowledge, and go from there.
It seems like two positive moves by Sheila Ford Hamp in the last few weeks here.
Mm-hmm.
But John, I took some notes
Sure.
on the Lions' performance against Green Bay. We might want to come up with a segment name for this, but it's sort of like the leftovers.
Yeah.
From Sunday, like they're going to go bad tomorrow.
Well, I think that's a great name for it, Sunday Leftovers.
They left there. There we go.
And we got to talk about them today, because they're going to spoil and go bad if we don't.
Right. You're just going to hurt yourself if you try it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. So the 31-24 loss to Green Bay at home begs the question, and if you listen to any sort of talk radio or any sort of anything or read articles, it's is this Stafford's last game in Detroit? Was the last time we saw him getting folded up like a deck chair against Green Bay and not come back in? I say, will it be? Probably not. Should it be? Probably. But that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what a new GM, new coach. It's kind of an iffy time to be Matt Stafford, I guess. You've been injured, or maybe potentially not finished the last two seasons because of injuries. It doesn't look optimistic for him to play this week. Could he come back and play the final two games? Yeah, he probably could with the right. They're going to have to put an even heavier flak jacket on him, and
get some more bubble wrap.
Yeah,
for Matt Stafford.
Yeah,
but you got the changes in 2020. You have Sheila Ford Hamp becoming the chairman of the team. You have her firing Quinn Tricia. The last thing to do is for Matt to say, "Look, I love you guys. It didn't work. Trade me into the AFC."
Yeah.
Give me to a team that's almost a contender. Or just get me out of here.
Yeah.
Get me to someplace warm. I can end my career. And, he's hurting his back for carrying the team for so many years.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think, he has a good relationship with ownership, and, I think would love to be here when it turns around, and they've been close a couple times with him. I mean, they've been to the playoffs occasionally since he's been here, but they haven't had any that success in the playoffs. And I think he would love to be the guy that would bring Detroit success in the playoffs. But he's also, maybe got 5 years left in his career of good production. I
mean, if you're the Patriots, and I threw this out on a whim before the season. If you were the Patriots, how different would your season be with the Matt Stafford?
Well, yeah.
Cam Newton.
Well, yeah. Although the Patriots aren't exactly busting with great wide receivers or running backs right now, so maybe it would be more of the same. Him trying to carry, although and I'm not so sure the Lions don't have better skill players than the Patriots right now.
Yeah,
which is the crazy thing.
The Patriots have a better defense,
right,
and a better coach. Well, you don't have to argue about the coach.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that could be a better situation for Matt.
Well,
out there, but anyway, that was my first takeaway. I know we got a break soon.
Yep.
Couple more quick things. That running game. I know Swift was back. I heard something where it's like they didn't rush for over 5 yards on any carry against Green Bay. Something ridiculous like that. Come on.
Yeah, I don't remember a big play.
Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't remember a big play.
No, non-existent, which is odd because this season there have been moments where this team can run the ball really well. It did not happen.
Right.
And I know there were injuries. My final point here, the defense was the weakness. And, when you're missing starting defensive end, starting defensive tackle, your number 3 pick at corner, other corners hurt, you're going to look not great. They didn't even get close to touching Aaron Rodgers.
No.
It was just
no pressure. It
was like practice for him. It's like you have the red vest on.
Yeah, exactly.
But I might chalk that up to injuries for that game, because they were missing Shelton and Okwara, right?
Yeah, right.
He was out, and Trey Flowers out. They were missing guys.
Right.
So I guess to only give up 31 might be a win for the defense, but I felt like clearly the offense was the better side of the ball against Green Bay, and the defense just couldn't keep up with a guy who's having an MVP season.
Yeah, it's they've got to fix the defense. Whoever the next coach is has to fix the defense, whether it's through the draft or free agency or trades. That's going to be job number one. The offense is good enough for them to be competitive in the NFL and win games.
Right.
But if you can't stop anybody when you need to, they've just got to continue to try and get better on that side of the football.
Yeah, we thought that going into the season.
Mm-hmm.
Another quick thing before we go to break, seeing the defensive coordinator, Corey Unlin, still there, doesn't that seem weird? Wouldn't you feel odd if you're him? Like Patricia brought you in.
Yeah.
You're coordinating a horrible defense. Your boss gets fired, but you're still there.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing he's trying to put his fingerprints on this maybe a little more now and probably auditioning for his next job.
Well, he's putting his fingerprints on it, and he's wiping with one-ply toilet paper. Tell you what. That was rough.
Yeah.
That was tough to watch.
Well, one-ply toilet paper can be rough sometimes.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's known for.
Well, on that toilet paper note, we probably should go to break.
Yeah, give people something else to think about.
Yeah, there you go. We'll be right back here after this, here on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
Lenaway's original sports franchise, 96.5 The Cave.
Experience the difference. Three-dimensional physical therapy takes their individualized treatments to advanced levels through the lens of applied functional science. This unique approach utilizes the physical, biological, and behavioral sciences along with the biomechanics of the entire body to identify and treat the underlying cause of an injury. The highly motivated medical professionals at 3DPT have been trained and certified by the prestigious world-renowned Gray Institute. Since January 2019, 3DPT team members have completed over 2,500 hours in education with Gray Institute to enhance their treatment abilities. To truly understand the 3DPT difference, you must experience it firsthand. Visit their website at mi3dpt.com or call 263-3DPT to schedule a free consultation. Locations in Adrian, Tecumseh, and Brooklyn. Also offering free consultations through telehealth services to better serve you. 3DPT, because people matter. Call 263-3378.
Get your vehicle in shape with a complete cleanup at Beecher Street Car Wash and Auto Detailing. They will clean your vehicle inside and out. They offer detailing services like interior shampoo, hand wax, and buffing. Their expert staff will make your car, SUV, or van sparkle. They even do boats, RVs, and semis. Gift certificates available. Beecher Street Car Wash and Auto Detailing is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. till 7 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Ask about their monthly membership and their annual memberships. They're located on West Beecher Street next to Barrett's.
I found us a place that wants to hire a few good employees. That's us.
Wait, does it pay well?
It does, and we can get meals and discounts on all kinds of things. The hours are flexible. They even offer scholarships, insurance, and a retirement plan.
Sounds too good to be true.
Nope, it's true.
McDonald's offers a wide variety of job and career opportunities from crew member to management. We're hiring for both our North and South Main locations in Adrian and at our Hudson Meridian Road McDonald's.
Experience the difference. Three-dimensional physical therapy takes their individualized treatments to advanced levels through the lens of applied functional science. This unique approach utilizes the physical, biological, and behavioral sciences along with the biomechanics of the entire body to identify and treat the underlying cause of an injury. The highly motivated medical professionals at 3DPT have been trained and certified by the prestigious world-renowned Gray Institute. Since January 2019, 3DPT team members have completed over 2,500 hours in education with Gray Institute to enhance their treatment abilities. To truly understand the 3DPT difference, you must experience it firsthand. Visit their website at mi3dpt.com or call 263-3DPT to schedule a free consultation. Locations in Adrian, Tecumseh, and Brooklyn. Also offering free consultations through telehealth services to better serve you. 3DPT, because people matter. Call 263-3378.
This is my favorite season, and I want everyone to be jolly and have fun decking their halls and putting up their holly. This is Josh Holly. Santa's sleigh only runs once a year. I'd like to get you in the right vehicle for everyday use for years to come. From Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton. Forget putting something under the tree this year. Let's put it in the driveway and on the road. Stop in now for end-of-the-year savings and GM employee pricing for all on the corner of 52 and 12 at Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton.
The Springs BP on West US 223 near Onstead Highway is your locally owned one-stop convenience store. The Springs BP Beer Cave is fully stocked and has a huge selection of craft beer along with all of the standards. If you're looking for something a little different, they have a variety of prepared cocktails and drink mixes plus state minimum prices on their huge selection of liquor. The Springs BP also has propane tank exchanges, fishing licenses, and bait. So if you're headed to the lake for the weekend or just heading home, make sure you stop and shop at the Springs BP.
Are you a pregnant or parenting teen in Lenawee County? The LISD Prep Academy is here to support you on your educational journey. Take the courses you need to meet your high school graduation requirements, while trained LISD staff provide free on-site childcare. You also have the opportunity to earn valuable skills and credentials at the LISD Tech Center. Academic counseling helps you reach your goals, and research-based curriculum provides a solid foundation for your child as they develop. To learn more about this program, visit lisd.us/prep. That's lisd.us/PREP.
And welcome back inside the cave. Ian Wendt, John Roberts here with you on a Wednesday morning. Before the break, we were talking a little bit about the Lions front office moves, and then we talked a little Matt Stafford. We got just a couple more things to cover with the Lions here for you. So it won't be long, Ian, and that Lions fan holiday will be coming up, and that is the NFL draft. Will be here before we know it in April.
Yep, some teams look forward to their playoffs, and others look to April. Some of the just dumpster fires of the NFL, the New York Jets, the Bengals, Jacksonville, are coming that time.
Yeah, and then, that, unfortunately, that's been a big day for the Lions in recent years because they've been drafting near the top of the draft.
Yep, they're just, it's like the opposite of a fringe playoff team. The Bills were 8-8 or 7-9 and they never quite made it, or the Dolphins. Well, that's like Detroit. They won't get in the top 5. When they do, they butcher it, or else they're sitting there at like 7 or 8. And you're like, well, we're not going to get the best kid, but we'll get something. I'm sure there's a tight end we can take with the 8th pick. But I think Hawkinson's proven that theory wrong the last couple of years. But anyway, talking about the Lions and their important loss to Green Bay. They fought hard. I get that. You always want them to win, but they didn't. And this team is 5-8 on the season. And I went through, and here's the draft order. If it were to happen tonight, you'd have the Jets, who we should talk about more. How important is it for us for them to go 0-16? That would just, it's like when how the 72 Dolphins do the champagne.
Yep.
When someone loses. We should do that when the Jets go 0-16.
Absolutely. Just add another team to the list.
Yeah, welcome to the club, Jets. So we have them at 1, Jacksonville at 2. They're 1-12. Cincinnati 2-10-1. So those are the dumpster fires. Those are helpless. They're lost at sea. And then you got a cluster of 5 teams at 4-9. So you have Houston, LA Chargers, Dallas Cowboys, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers. Now the Lions they've played a couple of those teams. Houston got Quinn Trisha fired, so we have a loss against them.
Mm-hmm.
We laid an egg against Carolina.
Yep.
And a miraculous win against Atlanta.
Right.
So if we are in a tie situation with any of those teams, we would have the edge over Carolina and Houston. So that's good news there.
That
those
is
are the
correct.
4-9 teams. We're looking up at them in the draft. Philadelphia is at 4-8-1, so one less loss puts them behind those teams. And then the Lions. We're in this 5-8 world with the Giants, 49ers, and Broncos. We haven't played any of those teams, so we don't have a head-to-head situation against them. But, John, you said Detroit is looking at about the 12th spot right now.
Correct. Yep.
Then you're...
Yeah, if they're at 11 or 12, not that you can't get a really good or even a great player at that spot. I mean, I would guess if we look back through the history of the draft, some pretty good players have been drafted at 11 or 12, but generally the best players are those 1 through 10 picks. And I'm not sure how deep this draft is. And I guess it just depends. It's a good year for quarterbacks. So if that's where the Lions at this time are thinking, and of course they don't know because they don't have anybody in charge of football operations right now. They don't have a new head coach in place. So those decisions are going to have to be made pretty quick here.
Yeah, and isn't that the luxury of getting rid of those 2 guys now?
Well, yeah, no question.
Start on this thing.
It gives you a jump to hopefully get the GM in place first. I mean, that to me that makes the most sense because then that GM can hire their coach. Which seems to make sense that you'd want as a general manager a coach that you pick, that you can work with, that you feel is the guy for the job, and so the whole philosophy of offense, defense, and who fills those spots is, I think part of the issue the Lions face on defense is they're playing a very specific style of defense that not everybody in the NFL plays. It's the New England model, and, not everybody uses those kind of players or, that kind of philosophy. So you could see, again, an entire retooling of the defense depending on the ability to use those players in other spots or in a different philosophy.
Yes, and the prime example is a team that beat Detroit earlier, Carolina. They got a new coach, new GM too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're in Carolina. They went with a veteran quarterback, and they drafted almost exclusively defense. Now, when you're drafting in the top 10, you probably just take the best player or who you think is the best player.
Mm-hmm.
If that's a quarterback and you want one, take him. You can do that. That's fine. But then the rest of the picks, you need to be looking at that defense, who desperately needs some help here in Detroit. But right now they're picking 12, anywhere from 10 to 13 in that range.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can be aggressive, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about this. If you really want a guy like Justin Fields, or you really want to, I don't think there's a way you're getting Trevor Lawrence, but if there's a guy who you think is going to go second or third, you have an asset you can trade to a Jacksonville or whoever might be picking in the top 5
Mm-hmm.
in a Matthew Stafford. I think Stafford and a second-round pick could move you up 5 or 6 spots, and you can get a Fields. Or if Trask is the guy you want. Or maybe you're sniffing at Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how the Jets are going to do that, but, that's something that could happen.
Yeah, it could.
Certainly something to think about.
And I think whomever the Lions bring aboard as the GM and head coach and, certainly the scouting staff, I'm sure when it comes combine time and pro days for all these college players this spring, they're going to pay attention to the quarterbacks in the group. One of the directions that's being discussed is you bring Stafford back for another year and you draft his replacement, and they sit for a year and they learn the pro game and they get acclimated in the new coach's system without knowing any other systems, and then you make a move. So that's out there as a possibility, and if you go in that direction, it's not a terrible direction to go in. You've got a veteran quarterback that can carry the team on offense for another year, and you've got your future quarterback. Now, that may not be a first-round guy. It might be a second or a third. If you can't get the quarterback you want in the first round, don't reach for a second or third round guy in the first round, because they're probably going to be there in the second or third round. Get some help on defense in the first round. Get a really good defensive player and make that defense better, which in turn helps your offense, which helps your quarterback, which helps your team.
Yep, they're all connected, and as Lions fans have noticed over the years, they got to live in harmony.
Yeah, and they've always struggled to do that. Well, and we talked about in the Green Bay game, they didn't come close to Aaron Rodgers. Well, draft a guy that's a pass rusher that you can develop and become a highly effective pass rusher in the NFL.
Yeah, and that's when the Lions were making the playoffs. They could rotate 6 or 7 guys on that D line, and they'd get pressure, and they had quality linebackers. But that's in the distant past,
right,
for Lions fans. They're nowhere near that level right now. So can we switch gears here? And since I'm not in the studio, can you give us a hail to the victors? When we
Sure, I can do that.
Here?
I can absolutely do that.
I know you can do that. Football in particular. We can touch on basketball a little bit later. So here's the deal. 3 games canceled in a row. Maryland, Ohio State, Iowa.
Yep.
3 losses, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion. I did not need to see them lose to Iowa to know this is a bad team with an overrated coach. We've seen 6 years of this. They're 3-3 against Michigan State, 0-5, asterisk 0-6 against Ohio State. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
We didn't have to play Iowa. As soon as they were on the schedule, John, you can be honest, they were losing that football game. There's no way they were going to compete with Iowa.
No, I think, and that was, the complaint, I guess, if that's the right word you heard from a lot of Michigan fans is, we're struggling this year, obviously. No one I think is going to deny that. You could be the most maize and blue bleeder out there, and this has been a struggle this year. And to see that we're playing the second best, or some would argue they're the best team in the West right now in Iowa, that didn't bolster anybody's confidence in finishing the season on a strong note. And you know, I agree with you. I think those 3 games that got canceled, maybe the Maryland game, they've got a chance. I don't think they beat Ohio State, and I don't think they beat Iowa this year.
So one thing I'm struggling with here is, so Iowa's number 2 in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Northwestern going to play Ohio State.
Right.
Who is Indiana scheduled to play?
They were gonna play the Purdue game, because that's their big rivalry game. So they were gonna try and, because it got canceled the week before, so they were gonna try and play it this week. It got canceled for last week, and they were gonna try and play it this week. So that did kind of throw the whole positional crossover concept into a bit of a, because actually I think Michigan should have played Purdue. Or maybe Illinois. You know, that if you look at the standings, the last time I looked, it was either, I can't remember if it was Purdue or Illinois that would have been the crossover matchup for them.
I mean, there's 4 good teams in the Big Ten. The rest are garbage.
Yeah.
You got Maryland. In the East standings, Maryland at 2-3.
Right.
So they have 1 less loss than Michigan. Penn State 3-5, who beat Michigan.
Yep.
Rutgers 3-5, who has more wins than Michigan,
mm-hmm.
and MSU at 2-5, who beat Michigan head to head. So I guess I'm echoing U of M fan, saying, okay, how do we get matched up with Iowa?
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be shouldn't Maryland play them or
someone a little higher in the East standings? Put them against Iowa that hasn't played them this year. There's teams above Michigan but below Ohio State and below Indiana.
Right.
A lot of, I know Indiana, they wanted them to play Purdue. A lot of people wanted to see Indiana and Iowa play as the, 2 pretty good football teams, and that would be a good game to watch.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't know, did you read who had the COVID issue? Was it Purdue or Iowa or Indiana?
I think it was Purdue, and they mutually agreed to not play the game.
Okay.
Because I think Purdue was the week before also when they originally canceled the game, and it hadn't gotten any better, so they canceled the game this week.
Okay. So, yeah, just to summarize that, I mean, maybe you've heard this before. Maybe I don't need to say it out loud, but I personally didn't need to see them lose to Iowa to know they stink this year.
Yep.
And it would have been another bad loss. Iowa's one of, if not the hottest team in the Big Ten in Iowa. I mean, you got Ohio State, who's Ohio State.
Yep.
Indiana's a quality team, but the hottest one in the Big Ten is Iowa. They went from 0-2 to 6-2.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to play them. I mean, if I'm Ohio State, I wouldn't want to play them.
I would almost feel better playing Northwestern than Iowa right now. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. It's an anemic offense for Northwestern.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if people echo that about Michigan or if all the U of M fans have checked out this season when you lost to State. It's whatever. I mean, there's chaos. There's a level to chaos happening in Ann Arbor with canceling games due to COVID, or it's Harbaugh getting re-signed. How is signing day going to go today?
It'll be curious.
And it's. I made a note here. I had a thought just right before going to bed. I know we have to.
Yep, we're over for a break, so.
Yeah, well, they can wait.
The commercials aren't going anywhere, Ian.
Yeah, but I mean, you can shut me up. You can turn me off and just go to the break. But here's what it boils down to for me. Something else here. I guess in my adult life, all U of M is good for is what we're doing right now. It's radio segments. It's drama. It's not football. It's not big-time wins. It's not competing with Ohio State. It's not going to the Rose Bowl when it mattered. It's not competing in meaningful games. It's us talking about Harbaugh. Does he stay? Does he go to the NFL? Look how good this draft this recruiting class is. Oh, they stink again. Do we fire Harbaugh? Who can we get to replace him? That's all Michigan's been good for in my adult life. It really is. And
yeah.
That's kind of the state of the program.
Yeah, it hasn't been, strong for a while now, and hopefully that's going to change, but that remains to be seen. So we got to take some time out here, and we'll come back, and we'll have some more interesting sports topics to discuss between Ian and I, and maybe some of our listeners will chime in 265-4000 after the break right here on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
When trades are made, when records are broken, when championships lay in the balance, we've got you covered. 96.5 The Cave.
Long Motor Sales in Tecumseh reminds you that our local shops and restaurants need your support more than ever. Long's is doing their part by giving away one $100 gift certificate to a local shop or restaurant of your choice with every vehicle purchase. It's important to invest in our community. Shop Long's current inventory online at longmotorsales.net.
New to the lot this week at Long Motor Sales is a gray 2008 Ford Ranger. This sporty four-door extended cab truck features four-wheel drive and a towing package. With only 127,000 miles, this vehicle has a lot of life left. Affordably priced at $10,300. Stop in and tell Eric you want to take this truck for a ride today.
If your vehicle needs something as simple as an oil change or a major overhaul or repair, take it to Long's Automotive Maintenance. Nathan Long has years of experience as a certified technician, giving you dealership quality service at a low price. Long's Motor Sales and Long's Automotive are located 1 block north of the main Four Corners in downtown Tecumseh at 201 North Evans. Long's, a family you know and trust.
Is your asphalt driveway cracking? Does it need maintenance? After years of wear and tear, this is Rocky from K&B Asphalt Paving and Seal Coating. We do seal coating, hot rubber crack filling, and unlike others, we also do our own striping, patching, and paving. We are your one-stop shop for all your driveway and parking lot needs. We have 25 years of expertise and are fully insured for commercial and residential work. Visit us online or call 264-2541 for more information. At K&B Asphalt, we pledge to keep our customers satisfied by providing expert service with quality materials at a competitive price.
Yes, we're open. The great off-road is wide open, and the keys to family freedom are ready and waiting at your Polaris dealer. Get rolling with the off-road's best for as little as $5 a day during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. So head on over to J&L Motorsports at 1790 East Monroe Road in Tecumseh. Offer valid in U.S. through 12/31/20 on select new Sportsman models, subject to qualification and financing. See participating dealer for details. Always wear a helmet, never drink and ride.
Is your vehicle so dirty that little kids are writing wash me notes on it?
My hands are all dirty.
Is your wife ashamed to ride with you?
Let's take my car.
Is your vehicle so dirty that it looks like it's a different color?
I thought your car was white.
Then it's time to go to Sudsy Does a Car Wash. We know you want your car to look great, so try Sudsy Does a Car Wash in Tecumseh.
Sudsy Does a Car Wash, Gary's Quick Lube too.
Well, they did it. Martha and Sam switched their home and auto insurance to... Yes, they made that 800 call, and 11 minutes and 45 seconds later it was done, and they've lived happily ever after.
Oh, no.
What do you mean, Martha?
Unfortunately, a fire damaged our home a year later, and when we tried to file a claim, it was horrible. They didn't know us. They didn't know Michigan's laws. It even turned out we were paying more for less insurance.
Well, what did you do about it?
We've moved our insurance where it should have been in the first place, to Hayes Insurance Agency. Hopefully we'll never have another claim, but I know they really care about their customers and will always look out for us.
And you can count on the friendly local independent agents at Hayes Insurance Agency, 4752 Occidental Highway, to look out for you, too. With personal attention and top-notch service from experienced professionals. Remember,
don't get your insurance from...
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
Hayes Insurance, 423-8316.
Saints Sports Weekly on 96.5 The Cave. Every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., Jeff Bowman, John Kane, and Fred Smith talk with coaches, student athletes, and alumni from Siena Heights University. They will dive into all the sports on campus and discuss the teams and student athletes that compete in the Navy and Gold. The Alumni Spotlight will focus on a former Saint. Tune in every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com for Saints Sports Weekly, brought to you by Magic Fountain Auto Wash and Siena Heights University.
And welcome back inside the cave. I'm chair dancing by myself here in studio. I've got Ian Wendt remotely with us this morning. Welcome back, Ian.
Hey, John. Yeah, I did a mini chair dance too. Don't worry.
There you go.
I'm in a more comfortable chair than you, though. I can guarantee it.
You probably are. You've got your feet up in a recliner, or
I don't have my feet up because I'd probably fall asleep, and that's not a good radio show.
no. Well, I don't know. We hope. I don't think so, but
Sure thing. Okay. I got a little bit of a carryover from the U of M talk.
Okay.
They canceled their last 3 due to COVID issues. Now, whatever tinfoil hat theory you have, that's fine. If you think they ducked the games, whatever. You're going to feel that way the rest of your life, and there's nothing a radio show can change about that opinion. But here's what I have to say about that. Whatever personal stance you've had with COVID and sports, continue it with U of M football. You know, if you've been of the opinion of as soon as there's a case, you need to shut it down, or as soon as there's this many cases, shut it down, or don't, just be consistent with it. Don't pick and choose because they didn't play Ohio State. Well, come on, it's not that bad. You could have played, yada, 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 yada. If you felt that way all season, sure, you can feel that way now because you've been consistent. But don't pick and choose COVID playing, COVID not playing. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. And you can put your tinfoil hat on if you've been putting it on all season. You're entitled to it. So that's my take on that. I've said it before, but I think it's important to echo it again here today.
Yeah, I think consistency is important. And, obviously you can change your mind as new information comes forward. But, when you lack new information, be consistent in what you've said all along or felt all along.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. So we'll get to the signing day here in a little bit. I think a big day for Michigan fans. It's kind of like the Lions draft.
In a way, right now it sure is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what does the future bring?
Yes, you're looking to the future. But I got a couple thoughts on MSU. It's fair to do both teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
The team that played we'll call it a football game on Saturday, a 39-24 loss to Penn State. I'll be honest, I watched, and it was 24-10 or 21-10. Michigan State, and I go, oh, okay, they came to play. And then I watched something else for a few minutes, and I switched back, and it's 39-24. And I go, well, there goes that. I'll have to catch the highlights on that. Couple of quick thoughts here. I thought Peyton Thorne looked okay. Coming in for Rocky Lombardi, obviously got the start, threw his first career touchdown pass. He was 22 of 39, 325, 3 touchdowns and a pick. That's a pretty good afternoon.
Yeah, I mean he played well. He's going to start this weekend, and I think if you're a Spartan fan, you had to like what you saw out of him. You got to feel pretty good about if he can play that way on a consistent basis. They're going to win a lot more games going forward. And I thought going into the game, why not give him a shot? What do you have to lose at this point in the season? And I'm glad to see him get a chance. I think he is the future of the Spartans on offense. And, I don't know that Rocky Lombardi has done anything to cement himself as the starter at quarterback. And I think Peyton Thorne, if he plays well again this week against Maryland, you got to look at him as at least going into the spring ball, as the number one quarterback.
Yeah, and he was a guy some of us read about in the offseason. Well, is it going to be Rocky? And the second guy was Peyton Thorne.
Right.
And I thought, he's a redshirt freshman. Michigan State has a tendency of starting a guy as a redshirt freshman or a true freshman and letting him go the next 4 years as the guy. You know, the Cousins of the world, the Lewerkes, and say, look, man, this is your offense. Go.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to grow with you, and you're the guy. Stay healthy and don't make mistakes. Whether Peyton is that guy, he showed signs. Another quick take. They stunk on third down, John. I don't know if you knew this, but they were 2 of 12.
Yeah, that they got to get better. And then, you know, some of that might be a more experienced quarterback.
But, you know, it helps out your defense when you convert on third down.
Absolutely.
And the third take here for me is, doesn't it look like they're playing for Mel Tucker?
I think so.
Guys.
Yeah.
But don't they give that off?
Yeah, I think they've gotten better. I mean, they're not perfect yet, and I wouldn't even say they're a good team yet, but they've gotten better from game 1 to game now.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a Spartan fan,
team, I don't want people to take it as, Ian thinks they're good, and Mel Tucker's this, that, the other thing. I think they're playing for the guy. There's going to be a lot of roster turnover because he's a new coach.
Yep.
But they're showing fight in some of these games. Now, they did get their doors blown off a few times. It's going to happen.
Yep.
It's going to happen. But
work in progress.
Yeah.
Just like you and me, we're a work in progress here on 96.5 The Cave.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor. And like it or not, the holidays will be here before you know it. So now is the perfect time to get your home ready for your guests. And there's no better way to start than with the right window treatments, which can instantly transform any room in your house into a bright and cozy space. So during the Hunter Douglas Seasons of Style Savings event going on now, you can take 20% off or get free installation of qualifying purchases of gorgeous, innovative shades. We'll show you how Duet Honeycomb shades provide superior insulation and beauty at the window, and how Silhouette window shades filter light for a soft glow, or how Vignette Modern Roman shades offer contemporary glamour with luxurious fabrics. Hunter Douglas window treatments create a comfortable, inviting interior your guests will notice and appreciate. So don't miss the Seasons of Style savings event going on now. Limitations and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
This is Charlie Ribatero with Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton. As another year comes to a close, I want to thank my family and friends for continuing to be faithful Chevrolet drivers. Chevy has always built the best vehicles, and our new lineup continues this tradition. When you're ready for your next vehicle, keep in mind that I'll always help you find the vehicle that accommodates your lifestyle. We are all blessed in many ways. Please take a moment to remember the reason for the season.
Was the summer rough on your vehicle? Kids, dogs, water, mud, and now you're thinking, how am I going to get this clean? Leave it to the professionals at Beecher Street Car Wash. They have extended the Black Friday detail offer, so all through December you can get a complete detail package for only $85. That means the inside and outside will look shiny and new. Call Beecher Street Car Wash at 263-4144 and book your complete detail appointment. Beecher Street Car Wash, next to Barrett's in Adrian.
Looking for a great lunch or dinner to satisfy the whole gang? The Brick Wall Pub and Grill in downtown Adrian has it all. Juicy burgers, quesadillas, pizzas, salads, homemade soups, and so much more. Check their Facebook page for daily food and drink specials. Indoor and outdoor seating is available. Call 759-4072 for takeout orders. That's 759-4072. Join Crazy Karen for karaoke fun Thursday nights starting at 8 p.m. The Brick Wall Pub and Grill. They're not just another brick in the wall.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports. Interview area coaches and players and get you ready to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
The best in regional sports from Southeast Michigan. WLEN Adrian, HD2, W243AD, 96.5 The Cave.
96.5 The Cave. Lenawee County Sports. Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. This is Inside the Cave on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com. Sports talk radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports, interview area coaches and players, and get you ready to start your day.
Good morning.
Now grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass, because it's time to go inside the cave.
And welcome back inside the cave. Hour number 2. John Roberts and Ian Wendt here with you. Ian, how are you this morning?
Well, not doing too bad, John. Ready to get this second hour underway. We got a shakeup in my top 16 in the NFL. And
same here.
We're going to, based on a couple of lackluster performances at the top, a shakeup for me at least.
Yep, same here. So we're going to get to that towards the second half of the second hour here today, and we're going to get this second hour started with...
Now for an Inside the Cave sports update.
And because I'm in studio, I get to do the update twice today. For the Lions, Matthew Stafford did not suffer any broken ribs in last week's loss to the Green Bay Packers, but the Detroit Lions quarterback still could miss Sunday's game against the Tennessee Titans. ESPN reported Tuesday that Stafford suffered a rib cartilage injury when he was hit hard and twisted awkwardly on a scramble in Sunday's fourth quarter. Interim Lions coach Darrell Bevell said Monday that Stafford will be reevaluated at the end of the week to determine his playing status. According to ESPN, the Lions are not overly optimistic that Stafford will play on Sunday. Two of the best players in Detroit Lions history will help the team find its next head coach and general manager. Chris Spielman, who made 4 Pro Bowls and 8 seasons with the Lions, has left his broadcast position with Fox to become special assistant to Lions president Rod Wood and chairman Sheila Ford Hamp. Spielman will sit in on all interviews in the Lions' ongoing search for a new head coach and general manager, and will circle back and spend time with the 3 internal candidates the team interviewed last week. While Spielman will have a permanent role in the organization, the Lions also established a 3-member advisory group to help vet candidates and weigh in on what criteria should be used to pick the next coach and GM. Those are Hall of Fame running back Barry Sanders, Fritz Pollard, Alliance Executive Director Rod Graves, and former Michigan State Athletic Director Mark Hollis. Michigan's football game at Iowa on Saturday has been canceled. A source with direct knowledge of the situation told the USA Today Sports Network just before U of M announced the news. The Wolverines will finish 2-4 in the regular season, and according to a Michigan news release, the Wolverines were expecting to be without more than 50 athletes against the Hawkeyes because of lingering effects from a COVID-19 outbreak within the program. I'm pretty sure there were some injuries in there also. It's the 3rd straight game Michigan has canceled because of a COVID-19 outbreak that began to spread after the Wolverines lost to Penn State on November 28th. U of M is the first program in the Big Ten this season to miss 3 consecutive games because of an outbreak. Last Wednesday, Athletic Director Ward Manuel said the OSU game was canceled because of an upward trend in positive tests that continued to even go up over the weekend. Michigan State football will be missing 1 cornerback for sure Saturday. Another is possibly done for his career. Coach Mel Tucker confirmed Tuesday sophomore cornerback Chris Jackson is no longer with the program, and he said he planned to talk later that afternoon to Shakur Brown to see if the junior who entered his name for the NFL draft on Monday would be playing Saturday when the Spartans travel to Maryland for a 7:30 game to wrap up the regular season. You can watch that game on Big Ten Network, and, of course, you can listen to it right here on 96.5 The Cave or at 965thecave.com. Jackson started the first 2 games, then missed the Iowa and Indiana games due to injury. He returned in a reserve role against Northwestern and Ohio State, but was not in uniform again for Saturday's 39-24 loss at Penn State. Brown is tied for the national lead with 5 interceptions and has 25 tackles and 4 pass breakups while starting all 7 games this fall. He began the season as the nickelback but returned to cornerback when Jackson got hurt. And that, Ian, is the update.
All right. Some hopefully positive news for Detroit and the Lions and their quest to become relevant once again. With the announcement about Spielman and Sanders and others to be on that advisory committee, hopefully can get that thing squared away. U of M football done. I guess grade the season personally, just to yourself. Just know the state of your program. If you're Michigan and Michigan State, there's still going to be some roster turnover with still a new coach in Mel Tucker. And, speaking of building up programs, we have signing day today. It's early signing day, correct, is what they call it? Or is this the day?
This is actually signing day. The early signing day. I believe there's another one in February, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So a few years back, they added this kind of to let high school kids, get on with their senior year of high school, and not go all the way into February. I think they have a similar type situation with basketball and that was kind of where the football coaches and athletic directors got together and went to the NCAA and said, we need an early signing day just like basketball has. So that's been around for a few years now. And today's the big day. Colleges all across the country will get commitments from various people. And, it's kind of like you said, Ian, it's the NFL draft for college. So we're hoping, that Michigan and Michigan State will bring in some future stars for the programs. And it's a great way to stockpile talent and get better. And looks like about 28 minutes ago, I'm looking on Twitter here, Michigan signed their first official commitment. He is a offensive and defensive lineman out of New Jersey, Dominic Guidice. So that's letter number 1 that's been received. Michigan State has also gotten a couple 6'5", 295-pound linemen out of New Jersey. And
so they're starting to get underway.
Yeah. So we've got signings coming in across the country, each team getting a lineman out of New Jersey, and not just, of course, Michigan or Michigan State, but, the other schools in the state, CMU, EMU, and Western are all bringing in players too at this time. So it'll be an interesting day if you're a sports fan to kind of follow along and, see where the future lies. From everything I've been reading, the big recruit for Michigan today is Donovan Edwards, a running back out of West Bloomfield, Michigan. He is rated as the number 3 running back in the country. And so he is priority number 1 for Michigan. Last I read, Ian, it's between Michigan, Notre Dame, and Georgia, and Michigan is thought to be the front runner for his services. So that would be a good.
When you say
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
That would be a huge pickup for Michigan. They've taken some heat, and deservedly so, for not necessarily keeping the top prospects in Michigan here in the state of Michigan to play their college football.
And, when you say Georgia's interested in a running back, I have thoughts of Todd Gurley.
Mm-hmm.
I have thoughts of DeAndre Swift.
Yep.
And others.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb. And then, if I were the top running back, you look at that history
Sure.
of running backs in Georgia, they're a 1A decision, but I'm not the kid, so I don't know.
Right.
Right now what I'm seeing on 247sports.com is Michigan right now nationally ranked at number 10. Big Ten ranked number 2. I bet you can guess the number 1 team in the Big Ten.
I sure can.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it. That's okay. And the 5-star that's already committed is verbally. I don't know if he's officially signed quite yet.
Right.
Is J.J. McCarthy, quarterback, pro style, from IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. You can't get much better than a 5-star, rated number 2 in the position for quarterback. So is this the kid that Harbaugh's going to whisper to as a QB, and it'll work? I don't know, but Michigan's got a pretty darn good recruiting class lined up right now.
Well, and that, that really hasn't been the issue for Michigan. It hasn't been a problem of getting these kids to come here. It's been getting them to stay here and develop. And that's probably the biggest, we talked earlier in the show, and we don't want to go too much more into Michigan. If in fact he is going to come back, and I think he probably is, I think there's going to be some staff changes. I think you've got to fix that problem. Recruiting isn't necessarily the issue. They're a top 10 recruiting class almost every year. You should be a top 10 program getting top 10 players. And I think if they were a top 10 program every year, a lot of the criticism would die down, because that means you're beating some good teams, some ranked teams. Maybe you're winning the Big Ten East every now and then. I think that the criticism would all go away if they can get the talent to play to the level of their recruiting ratings.
Right, and you got to go back to I know we don't want to, but go back to the Brady Hoke era. He was signing kids, John. He was getting NFL talent to come to Michigan.
Sure.
And they just weren't getting coached.
Right. Well, and Michigan is a name brand. I know they're having a terrible season this year, but nationally, they're still a name brand. If you asked a high school kid to name top 25 college football programs, on most lists, Michigan is gonna show up there. Just because they're on TV, the helmet, the history, all that kind of stuff. They're going to show up on the list. Are they the number 1 on the list? Yeah, for some kids, but not for everyone. So
yeah, and it's been, here's a crazy thought here, John, and that you've been around Michigan football longer than I have.
You're saying I'm old.
Signing, that's a different conversation. These kids signing today are 18 years old?
Yeah, 17, 18.
17, 18. So they were born in about 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's won 1 Big Ten title in that time.
That's correct.
And they've yet to play in this Big
Playoffs.
Ten championship.
Yep.
They've beaten Ohio State how many times? Twice. In that time. So it's all history with Michigan, and I get it. They got the brand, they got the big house,
Sure.
They got Harbaugh, and there's things to like, obviously. get these kids here, but
the
in
education.
their lifetime, there's no great Michigan highlights that are in high definition.
Right.
They're all in standard def, or they're on your VHS tape.
Yeah, you're not saying
get-
anything that isn't true, and the pitch has got to be you're the guys to turn it around, and
Right.
and they're going to obviously some kids are buying that, and you hope that they are the kid. If you're a Michigan fan, you hope they are the kids that turn it around and get it back in heading in the right direction and get it back to where it once was. As everybody likes to say.
Yep. What would help Michigan, and trust me, I don't necessarily want to help Michigan.
You
It makes for
Sparty,
good
you.
radio if they stink, right?
Sure.
People tune in if they suck, but you need to have an underdog mentality. Somehow you need to get that.
Sure.
And I don't know if Harbaugh can do that.
Yeah, you need to have that chip
need to
on your
realize-
shoulder at times.
Right. You need to realize what you are.
Yep.
You're an underachieving football team based on your talent.
Yep.
Play up. Play
Yep.
great football. Play like you are a 30-point underdog. Beat State. Beat them by 30 like you were supposed to. Compete with Ohio State. Get that chip on your shoulder, not just a wing on your helmet. That's my thing with Michigan. I think it's great for the Big Ten to keep to get all this good talent. It makes the conference better, makes us look better nationally. For someone to compete with Ohio State, I don't know who the next team below Michigan is for the Big Ten. I don't know if it's Penn State or
I would them, and who knows? Maybe Michigan State is going to get back to where they were, at the height of the D'Antonio days, and I'm sure that's their goal, where they're competing for the Big Ten East and going to the Big Ten championship game and the college football playoff. I mean, I got to believe that's, if you're Mel Tucker and your coaching staff and the players, that's got to be your goal. I mean, why wouldn't it be, if you're them? What are you
Right,
playing
yeah,
for
well,
if that's not part of your goals?
I agree, and there's sort of a framework laid out for that, in a way, by D'Antonio, of how to build this program. Now, Mel's going to do it the way he wants, but there's a way to get it done at a school that doesn't get in the top 10 recruiting
Right.
nationally,
Right.
that doesn't get the 5-star quarterback, or doesn't get the 10 draft picks in the first
Mhm.
round like a Clemson.
Right.
And he knows that going in. So looking at 247sports.com, where a lot of like CBS or ESPN or whoever reference for this recruiting, you have Ohio State at 1, Michigan at 2. Now, to show John loves this stuff, I think John Kane lives for recruiting. The Buckeyes here have 5 5-star commits
Mm-hmm.
and 13 4-stars. Michigan has 11 4-stars and 1 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just shows you the discrepancy. There are only so many 5-stars to go around.
Right.
And they're going to Alabama. They're going to Clemson. They're going to Georgia. The Buckeyes right there. Wisconsin actually third at this time with 5 4-stars and 1 5. And then Penn State 4 with no 5-stars. And then you got Iowa at 5, Nebraska 6, Maryland, Minnesota, Rutgers, Michigan State down there at 10. Northwestern right now is ranked 11th, and they're going to play in the Big Ten championship
Yeah.
game.
Well,
Indiana's at 12, and then you got Illinois, Purdue.
yeah, Northwestern deals with maybe a different set of circumstances. I think, the academics play a part in getting some guys in the door. That makes it a little tougher for them to, get some of these 5 stars to come. So, they have to take the approach of we're going to get 3 and 4 stars and we're going to coach them up. And, there's, that should be everybody's model is whether we're getting 4 and 5 stars or we're getting 4 and 3 stars, we're going to coach them up. I mean, that's what you do. You make them better than, that should be, if you're not doing that, then that's a huge problem. I don't care what school you're at. That's the job of the coaches, is to make the players better. And now, I get it. Sometimes guys are overrated coming out of high school. That happens. And they don't ever play up to that level. That happens. So, you can still make those guys better. They may never be the 5-star that they were supposedly rated coming out of high school, but don't let them play but like a 2-star. They're probably a 3 or a 4. Get them to that level if that's, get them as close to being a 5-star as you can.
Yeah, and I think you've hit the nail on the head, John, with the frustrated Michigan fans. They see that and they go, why can't we compete with Ohio State? I know they're not getting the 5 stars.
Right.
But they're getting the 4s and the 3s.
Sure.
And they have a coach that the fans like.
Right.
And it hasn't fallen in place yet. Will this class do it? You're a Michigan fan.
Sure.
You hope so.
Yeah.
And how
you got hope right now. That's what you have is hope.
Yeah, it's
better than having no hope.
We're speaking to Wolverine and Lions fans right now, looking at the draft in April, going, all right, are we picking 5th or are we picking 12th? This really matters. Can we lose the right number of games? And, Michigan looking forward to next year, and we'll have all offseason to talk about what pressure Coach Harbaugh is under to get this thing right.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, we got to take a quick time out here. Got some commercials, and then also Spartans Sports Weekly, daily, right here on 96.5 The Cave, 965cave.com.
96.5 The Cave, Lenawee County Sports.
Winter season is here and construction work is coming to a close. It is still important that you remember to call Miss Dig whenever you plan to do any excavating. Citizens Gas Fuel Company in downtown Adrian would like you to know about Miss Dig. The Miss Dig system is a statewide one-call notification system that is a message handling service that processes calls from persons or companies who are planning to excavate or hand dig and then informs its member utilities of these plans. Michigan law requires anyone who is responsible for the planning or performance of any excavating, grading, digging, demolition, cultivating, blasting, or boring to provide advance notice of at least 3 working days to Miss Dig. The Miss Dig system must be called prior to excavation in order to comply. Miss Dig is available 24/7 at 811. A valid and current Miss Dig ticket must be present on all job sites and can be paper or an electronic ticket. Miss Dig 811 tickets must be renewed prior to expiration. Remember, Miss Dig is fast, free, and it's the law. This message has been brought to you by Citizens Gas Fuel Company, downtown Adrian, your local gas company, and more.
Do you think about working in the manufacturing world? Looking to improve your skills and earn a wage increase you deserve? The Center for Science and Industry, otherwise known as CSI in Hudson, can prepare you for the high-demand careers in manufacturing, engineering, or robotics. CSI can help you earn stackable certifications in the well-known manufacturing jobs available right here in Lenawee and Hillsdale counties, including quality, CNC, robotics, and industrial maintenance. Call CSI today at 517-448-1413 or on the web at smcsi.org.
Craig Culver of Culver's. Before farm to table, before field to fork, there was just good, wholesome food. Grown by America's farm families, prepared fresh at Culver's, and always served with a smile. We still cook every Butterburger to order using fresh 100% Midwest beef and craft our frozen custard right in the restaurant using family farm fresh dairy. So thank you, farmers. Welcome to Delicious.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor. And like it or not, the holidays will be here before you know it. So now is the perfect time to get your home ready for your guests. And there's no better way to start than with the right window treatments, which can instantly transform any room in your house into a bright and cozy space. So during the Hunter Douglas Seasons of Style Savings event going on now, you can take 20% off or get free installation of qualifying purchases of gorgeous, innovative shades. We'll show you how Duet Honeycomb shades provide superior insulation and beauty at the window, and how Silhouette window shades filter light for a soft glow, or how Vignette Modern Roman shades offer contemporary glamour with luxurious fabrics. Hunter Douglas window treatments create a comfortable, inviting interior your guests will notice and appreciate. So don't miss the Seasons of Style Savings event going on now. Limitations and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
Life as a farmer has many sides. That's why we work with Nationwide, the #1 farm insurer, to help farmers and ranchers stay profitable and protected. With Nationwide, you can feel confident you're getting coverage that fits your operations needs. Find out how to help protect your farm or ranch. Call us today.
D.S. Johnson & Associates, located in Adrian, Morenci, Monroe. Give them a call today at 517-263-2582.
For your many sides, there's Nationwide. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review and approval. Products and discounts not available to all persons in all states.
Are your floors screaming for a makeover? If so, O'Connor & Sons Floor Covering in Tecumseh, with their combined 160 years of experience, wants to help. O'Connor & Sons sell and install many styles of floor covering. They have the area's largest selection of luxury vinyl tile and planks, which are completely waterproof. O'Connor & Sons also carries Cali Bamboo, which are the world's hardest floors. Pet problems? No worries. They have pet-proof carpet that is guaranteed against all pet stains. O'Connor & Sons Floor Covering on Russell Road in Tecumseh. Call them at 423-6170, or for more information, check them out on Facebook at O'Connor & Sons Flooring.
'Twas the night before Christmas.
Adrian Locksmith is here to help you secure your home and business. They can work with you to rekey entries and even provide video surveillance products. That'll help you let the right people in and keep the others out.
That new lock stumped me. You almost missed Christmas.
To secure it all, search Adrian Locksmith. Call 263-1415 or stop by 402 North Main Street to Adrian Locksmith.
Saints Sports Weekly on 96.5 The Cave. Every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., Jeff Bowman, John Kane, and Fred Smith talk with coaches, student athletes, and alumni from Siena Heights University. They will dive into all the sports on campus and discuss the teams and student athletes that compete in the Navy and Gold. The Alumni Spotlight will focus on a former Saint. Tune in every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com for Saints Sports Weekly. Brought to you by Magic Fountain Auto Wash and Siena Heights University.
Let's go inside the huddle with Michigan State's head football coach Mel Tucker. Brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. I'm Will Tiemann, and today's topic of conversation, a breakdown of the Big Ten title game on this Wednesday, December 16th, 2020.
Folding a fitted sheet, programming the thermostat, matching your socks, finding something good on TV. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners Insurance, getting the right coverage for your home doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can get back to more important things, like finding that missing sock. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners make sense for you.
And welcome back. And as always, we are being joined by Michigan State's head football coach Mel Tucker. And coming up this weekend, obviously, we're going to Maryland, but also there's the Big Ten title game. Ohio State and Northwestern will meet in Indianapolis. And Mel, you've played Ohio State, you've played Northwestern, you know these guys. I thought we could take these two guys and just talk about what you think they do best and what their pluses will be heading into the Saturday game. So as you look at Ohio State, what is their calling card, do you think, that could get them a championship, their big plus?
Well, I believe that they have a difference maker at quarterback, elite level quarterback who is either, the one or top, 1, 2, or 3 top players at his position in the country. And he's obviously a first round pick type guy. And so when you have a guy like that, that can deliver the ball in the pocket accurately, can also deliver the ball on the move with his eyes downfield, and also is a serious threat in the design quarterback run game, or even just when plays break down, to be able to improvise and make plays with his legs, that is a huge plus for a team, and it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. You know, Northwestern is a physical team. They don't beat themselves. Their quarterback play has improved this year. They have one of the top defenses in the country. And what I really like about Northwestern is they have really honed in on putting their guys in position where they can be successful, especially offensively and with their quarterback. You know, doing what he can do best. They do that, and they make sure they protect him when they want to take shots down the field. And they play complementary football, and they play very, very hard. So I think it's going to be an outstanding matchup. And like I said, we play both of these teams, and there's a lot of good coaching and a lot of good players on both of those squads.
As always, appreciate it, Mel, and we've been brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance.
And welcome back inside the cave. Ian Wendt, John Roberts with you here on a Wednesday morning. A little chilly outside, so bundle up. Give yourself a few extra minutes to let your car warm up before you head to work. Hey, Ian.
Hey, John. I mean, we've covered just about everything we could, and there's still more to get to, right?
Yeah, we're going to take a quick look at the Big Ten basketball standings, where both Michigan and Michigan State are successful.
Yeah, they really are. You look at the Big Ten standings, you got a few undefeated. You got Michigan, Rutgers, Ohio State, Iowa. You have Michigan State as well. Few teams just with one loss, and a few that are ranked but have a loss on the season already. And last year, I thought the Big Ten was the deepest conference in the country, and I think this year that continues to be the case with Michigan at number 25. Did they move up or down, or are they still at 25?
25 in one poll, 24 in the other.
Okay. And we have Michigan State in the top 5. I think they're still at number 4.
Correct.
In America. And you got Illinois that's not going anywhere, Rutgers as well. So
Iowa.
Just a quick Iowa. Yeah, that's right. My goodness. That's a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they're ranked just ahead of Michigan State at 3.
Yeah, you got, and they play each other on the 14th of January, tentatively.
Excuse me.
We'll see how that pans out. And we got Rutgers ranked at 19th. You got Illinois still in there at 13, so the Big Ten doing really well. I clicked on the schedule for Iowa. John, they have Gonzaga on Saturday.
Ooh, that's some
number
good TV right there.
3.
And the Spartans have not played a Big Ten game yet. They open, I believe it's Sunday at Northwestern.
Yep, that's all. I mean, Northwestern football and basketball seems similar to me. Like it's a gritty, grind them out game.
Yep.
They tend to play state tough on the court, and I had that note too. Michigan State played Oakland a few days ago. Oakland plays Michigan State tough.
Yes, they do.
And scheduling those games, they're good for your team, for Tom Izzo and Michigan State. But, you got the added element of in-state. That's the deal with Detroit. They gave the Spartans a run for quite a while. But a good win for MSU. Michigan, they escaped Penn State. This Dickinson kid seems to be the real deal. But, it was sloppy, but they got the job done. It's a Big Ten win for Michigan, 62-58 over Penn State. And like you said, the Spartans get their Big Ten season underway on Sunday.
Yeah, so, a lot of people have Michigan State in the conversation to win the Big Ten once again this year. And, from what I've seen so far, the Spartans, they're a really good basketball team. And it's just, I don't know if it's just me or they seem deeper already this year. And part of that could be who they're playing. But I just feel like sometimes in the past, Michigan State, and this is true of a lot of basketball teams, really didn't have much past guy number 7. Man, I watched them play a couple times this year. I feel like they go almost 10 deep sometimes. And that's tough to compete with.
Yeah, it really is. And that helped against Duke.
Yeah.
When you're coaching against a team that's deep, okay, you can shut out this one guy, but there's 4 others that can put up 20 points on any given night.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that for Michigan and to an extent seeing that for State and to an extent for Michigan. And, John, we're running out of time. We got to get going on our top 16.
Let's go that way right now.
I said before, I got a shake-up at the top. I'll get to that here in a little bit. But I want to start with one that we could argue. We could talk about it for quite some time. I've talked highly of them the last couple of weeks. I feel like they deserve to beat the Lions, and they should have. I have the Washington football team. They're 6-7. They're on top of the NFC East right now. They're playing good football. They're playing winning football. They beat the Niners, and I think they're going to win that NFC East and host a playoff game.
I don't disagree with you. At 16 for me, I have the Vikings clinging in there. Someone's got to be number 16, and I think there's as good as anybody that is just outside the playoff picture, and so I've got the Vikings at 16.
Yeah, they were close for me, John, and gosh, just watching Dan Bailey miss after miss after miss.
Yeah, if they have a kicker, they win that game.
Yeah, I thought Cousins played well. The defense did all they could down there in Tampa. But just a tough loss for them, and it's going to be hard to get in the playoffs in their position. But I can't argue them at 16 either. 15, I got the Las Vegas Raiders. They're above 500. That's about all I can say. They're good enough to be above 500, but what are they? Who are they? We're not really sure.
Yeah. 15, I have your football team that you just mentioned a second ago for all the same reasons. They could conceivably win out and be 9-7 and win that division. And, for a while there, it looked like no one was going to be above 500. I think Washington has a legitimate chance to win their last 3 games and be 9-7 and win that division.
Yeah, you can already etch in the trophy for Comeback Player of the Year for Alex Smith.
Boy, you'd like to think so. I can't, I know a lot of people were talking Ben Roethlisberger, and even Matthew Stafford was getting some mention early in the season. But, I don't see how you can't give it to Alex Smith. Guy almost lost his life. And now he's playing, now he's playing quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
They ought to name the award the Alex Smith Comeback Player of the Year award.
Oh, yeah, maybe. That's a good point. Up to 14, another team that's 7-6. Another conundrum for me. I know they've given Pat troubles in the Pick'em games. The Arizona Cardinals. They're still in the NFC playoff hunt, and that's pretty much all I can say. What Kyler Murray shows up kind of dictates how the team's going to play.
Yep. 14, I'm like one above you right now. I have the Las Vegas Raiders. If they're going to be a playoff team, they got a huge game coming up tomorrow night. They play the Chargers on Thursday Night Football. That's a must-win game for the Raiders. They've been struggling the last few weeks, and if they have any hopes of being in the playoffs, they got to win that one tomorrow night.
We're up to lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13.
A team that, oh, man. Did you watch that game on Monday night?
I did.
Please tell me you did.
I did. It was a great game.
Browns and Ravens. They were that close to being out of my top 16. Lamar Jackson, it was like a storybook ending to break the Browns' hearts. And I moved Baltimore into that 13 spot. They're 8-5. Got to be a little more consistent, but they're still 3 games above 500. They're right in that playoff chase for the AFC that's become extremely competitive.
Absolutely. A lot of good football in the AFC. Speaking of the AFC at 13, I have the Dolphins. Just a slight drop. It's hard to drop a team after they lose to Kansas City, who, is arguably the best team in football. But just a slight drop. The way they let that game get away from them, I think just a slight drop to number 13 for the Dolphins. They're still a really good football team, though.
Yeah, so you have them at 13. I have the Dolphins at 12. They were 13 for me last week, so they lose and they move up. What more do you need to see besides maybe a couple more wins? It's a young, well-coached, defensive-minded football team that really was in that game. Now, was Kansas City sleepwalking? I don't know.
Yeah.
But Miami's a quality team, and I think they're in the driver's seat to make a playoff spot.
Yeah, they're looking good. My number 12 is the team you had at 13. That's the Ravens. And for basically the same reasons that you said. They're trending upward a little bit now, getting a little healthier, and broke my heart beating the Browns on Monday night.
Yeah, I picked Cleveland to win that game, and it was looking pretty good. I mean, Baker was making throw after throw. Anyway, we'll get to that later. Number 11 for me, Tennessee. They're a 9-4 team, just quietly sitting there at 9-4, top the AFC South. Talking about, a couple good performances from Derrick Henry. We're used to seeing they've beaten the Colts, a loss to the Browns, and then they beat up on the Jags. So I got Tennessee there at 11.
All right. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 11. I think they're a playoff team. They're just somewhat inconsistent or somewhat of a mystery still to me, and we're into week 15 of the season. I think they're capable of beating anybody in the NFL. I think they're capable of losing to almost anybody in the NFL sometimes. So they're just not settled enough for me yet. So I've got them at 11.
Okay, do we want to crack the top 10 or go to a break?
Let's go to a break, and we'll come back and finish up with our top 10. We'll be right back with the top 10 NFL teams right here on 96.5 The Cave.
96.5 The Cave. Sports for Lenawee County.
Long Motor Sales in Tecumseh reminds you that our local shops and restaurants need your support more than ever. Long's is doing their part by giving away one $100 gift certificate to a local shop or restaurant of your choice with every vehicle purchase. It's important to invest in our community. Shop Long's current inventory online at longmotorsales.net.
New to the lot this week at Long Motor Sales is a gray 2008 Ford Ranger. This sporty four-door extended cab truck features four-wheel drive and a towing package. With only 127,000 miles, this vehicle has a lot of life left. Affordably priced at $10,300. Stop in and tell Eric you want to take this truck for a ride today.
If your vehicle needs something as simple as an oil change or a major overhaul or repair, take it to Long's Automotive Maintenance. Nathan Long has years of experience as a certified technician, giving you dealership quality service at a low price. Long's Motor Sales and Long's Automotive are located 1 block north of the main Four Corners in downtown Tecumseh at 201 North Evans. Long's, a family you know and trust.
There's a lot of talk about germs, especially these crazy virus germs. We are aware and have a solution to stop them inside your vehicle. At Gary's Quick Lube, we are offering ViraGuard. The ViraGuard system is a dry fog disinfecting system that uses nanotechnology to disinfect deep within soft surfaces and cracks that liquids or mist just can't get to. For additional information, call us at 423-1412 or stop in and see us at 1360 West Chicago Boulevard in Tecumseh. Let Gary's Quick Lube clean your germs away.
Visiting friends and family all over the country for the holidays isn't practical for lots of reasons. But you can visit like you're almost there in person with free internet interfaces that are possible with high-speed internet from D&P Communications. See your kids and grandkids unwrap those presents you sent and experience the joy on their faces. That is, unless you sent them an ugly Christmas sweater.
D&P Communications high-speed internet, connecting you to what matters most this holiday season.
Are you a pregnant or parenting teen in Lenawee County? The LISD Prep Academy is here to support you on your educational journey. Take the courses you need to meet your high school graduation requirements, while trained LISD staff provide free on-site childcare. You also have the opportunity to earn valuable skills and credentials at the LISD Tech Center. Academic counseling helps you reach your goals, and research-based curriculum provides a solid foundation for your child as they develop. To learn more about this program, visit lisd.us/prep. That's lisd.us/PREP.
Michigan's auto insurance laws are changing, and that means drivers have a lot to think about, right, Steve Hayes?
People are going to have to be hands-on on their auto insurance. They've got a lot of choices here. Bodily injury limits or your PIP choice. You're going to stay unlimited, or do you want to ramp it down?
But one thing hasn't changed. The local independent agents at Hayes Insurance Agency. They know the new laws inside and out. And whether you're one of their customers or not, they'll help you make an intelligent, informed decision.
It's not uncommon for us to take calls for 5 hours a day of just questions. I get a lot of paperwork that might be intimidating, and we walk them through it. We don't tell people what they should do. We're going to give them the option.
From the simplest questions to the most complex, count on Steve Hayes and his staff at the Hayes Insurance Agency.
I want to be the agent that has the most knowledge about these new laws.
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
Hayes Insurance, 423-8316.
This is the Michigan Sports Brief for Wednesday, December 16th, brought to you by Frankenmuth Insurance. Find your local independent agent and start a frank conversation about your insurance. Visit FMINS.com. I'm Rob Bennett, and with their Big Ten portion of their schedule off and running, we will hear from Michigan Wolverine men's head basketball coach, Juwan Howard, right after this.
Let's be frank. Your home, vehicles, business, and life are a lot like sports. The unexpected can happen at any time. The bright side is you can depend on Mount Pleasant Agency, Central Insurance, and Michigan-based Frankenmuth Insurance to be on your side. So live your life and let us worry about insurance. Visit Mount Pleasant Agency, Central Insurance today at mtpleasantagency.com.
As the Michigan Wolverines men's basketball team continues to prepare for their first Big Ten road test of the season at Nebraska on December 23rd, recently head coach Juwan Howard spoke on the importance of their second unit, consisting of Chundi Brown, Hunter Dickinson, Terrence Williams, and Brandon Wade.
Well, I have a second unit that is selfless. They have bought into their roles. Truly, let's start with Sean D. He started last year at Wake Forest, and he's accepted the role of being the sixth man for us, and he's perfecting it. But it says a lot about his character. Hunter, yes, he probably went to some other programs and been the starter, but every time his name is called on, he's always ready. Terrence is amazing. A guy that knows how to play the game. Very crafty, smart, high IQ. He figures it out. His mindset is like a throwback. He seems like he's been here for so long, been playing the game for a long time, just the way how he's always efficient. But he's always staying ready. He never know when his name is called, but you guys know it. I have this motto, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And then last but not least, Brandon, he's been the guy for us last year where he was a reserve, then he was a starter. This year now he's at a reserve role, and he's accepted that role. Hasn't had any type of, bad body language, always giving to the team, high character guy. So, I go on and on about this team. Our reserves have, delivered.
And that'll wrap up another edition of the Michigan Sports Brief, brought to you by Frankenmuth Insurance. Frankly speaking, when you need us, we will be there. Find your local independent agent at fmins.com.
And welcome back inside the cave. John Roberts, Ian Wendt here with you, heading down the home stretch. And Ian, we got a little trivia we got to do here. So today's trivia question is being brought to you by Maple City Auto Wash on Main Street next to Speedway Gas Station. First correct answer will receive a free car wash. Contest will be running every other week on WLEN and every week on 96.5 The Cave until November of 2021. All winners from both stations will be entered into a drawing for a chance to win a free one-year membership for unlimited car washes. One winner per station per year, please. You can be the winner if you're the first caller with the correct answer at 265-4000. Today's trivia question, MSU basketball. Who do the Spartans open Big Ten play with this weekend? If you were listening just a few minutes ago, we gave the answer. Who do the Spartans open Big Ten play with? Call us at 265-4000. If you're the first correct answer, you will win a free car wash.
Yeah,
we have a caller.
Just for listening to the
Good
show.
morning, caller.
I said there.
Good morning. Would the answer be Northwestern?
Good morning, caller. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, caller, try back.
Hey, caller, can you hear me?
265-4000 is the phone number.
Oh, John, I heard the caller.
Okay, for some reason I can't hear them.
Uh-oh.
Are you there, caller?
Hello, I'm here.
I can hear him, John.
Okay, have them give you the answer, Ian.
Okay, well, there's someone on the line. If they're hearing me right now, just stay on hold, and we'll get you here in a little bit. But, John, they did get the answer right.
Okay.
I heard them. I know you couldn't. It was Northwestern.
Okay.
So if that caller can call us back here in a couple minutes, we'll get them hooked up with their car wash winning.
Okay. Yep, if they would call us back here after the show, 265-4000, we'll get that to them.
Yeah, John, I'll give you slack on that one. We'll chalk that up to inexperience.
I'm sorry, what was that, Ian? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said I'll chalk that up to inexperience.
Yeah, there you go. Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
All righty. So we got to get through our top 10 here.
Yeah, we do. We're getting in crunch time here, so I'll rapid fire the next 5, and I'll give you a little take on each.
Perfect.
I got Cleveland still at 10. That's a really good football team. They lost 2 heroics to Lamar Jackson. Number 9, Indianapolis. They're right there, too. Number 8, Los Angeles Rams. That's a scary good football team. They got a winning defense and a really good head coach. I got Tampa Bay at 7. Got the win. They're 8-5. That Saints loss gives Tampa a chance to maybe get a home playoff game. Number 6, I have the Seattle Seahawks. They bounce back. Fortunately, they get to play the Jets and pad their stats a little bit. But that's my 10 through 6.
All right. At number 10, I also have the Cleveland Browns. Number 9, Tennessee Titans. Number 8, Indianapolis Colts. Number 7, Los Angeles Rams. And number 6, the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay, so we're pretty close. I've been higher on Tampa than you have the whole season.
Yep.
But all right, here we go. I got number 5. there's a lot of flaws in this team, and now that they've been losing, I put the Steelers at 5. They're 11-2 still. Cleveland's loss really helps them kind of secure the AFC North. Number 4, Green Bay. There's less flaws in Green Bay than Pittsburgh. Number 3, New Orleans. What was that against Philly? I got Buffalo at 2. We can talk all day and night, but the Bills are a great football team right now, and Kansas City, they're the best at 12-1.
Well, we've got the same 5 teams, Ian, just in slightly different order. Number 5 for me is the Saints. Number 4, the Steelers. Number 3, the Packers. Number 2, the Bills. And number 1, the Chiefs.
How about that?
Yeah.
Bills and Chiefs are 2-1.
Yeah. The Steelers, they got to be a little concerned.
Look, I'm concerned as a Steeler fan.
I know you are.
And I know we're running out of time, and I can't vent about my team here. But what's going on?
Yeah.
Is this a totally new offensive line? I know they got Pouncey back. You can't run the ball like a little bit. Ben's got to throw it 40 times a game. I know they're decimated on the defensive side of the ball with injuries. It's well documented about Devin Bush, Bud Dupree.
Mm-hmm.
Those are difference makers.
Yeah, they got to get it right because they're in danger of having to play 3 playoff games. And, they'll be at home for probably all of them but the NFC or AFC championship game. But, they've gone from the penthouse and they're heading more towards the basement than back towards the penthouse right now.
Right. Has anyone ever been more worried or down on an 11-2 team than the Steelers?
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it's justified. It really is. They're not really blowing people out.
No.
But, still 11-2.
Yeah, they're still a good football team, but they're not quite as dominant as they were a couple weeks ago. And they got to get healthy. They got James Conner back. And, they're still going to be a dangerous team. But I think losing Dupree and Bush has really hurt them defensively.
Yep, and they ran into a Buffalo buzzsaw.
Yep. Well, hey, we got to get out of here. It's been a good show, been a jam-packed show. And you will be on tomorrow with Pat?
Yep, I'll be on remotely with Pat once again, and talking a little bit more about Michigan, basketball, football,
through the lens of applied functional
all that type of stuff.
This unique approach
we will have
the physical,
John Borton from the Wolverine magazine on
okay.
around 8:28 to talk Wolverine.
All right, sounds good. Well, we got to get out of here. Thanks for being with us today, and listen always from 7 to 9 each morning. 96.5 The Cave, InsideTheCave.com.